Howdy y'all, Joe Hills here, recording as I always do in Nashville, Tennessee. As you can tell, I'm atop Castle Ravenloft, and things are never looked as good from up here. You know, this whole place on the outside is just looking great. It's come together in a wonderful way that I appreciate and that I hope you appreciate too. My hat is off to Tracy and Laura Hickman for their genius in constructing this model, or constructing the map from which I have built this model. But you know what? Sometimes when you look under the hood, there are things that just aren't quite right. And let me tell you, that's nothing wrong with their model, or their map. Their map is great. My model of their map, a little bit lacking. You know, there are still just little details that need to be taken care of. Now, in some of these rooms near the entrance, like this chapel, I'm just thrilled with how it came out. It's pretty much perfect. I'm not going to get much better. But you know what? If you start going downstairs and wandering around, there's actually a lot of stuff left to do. So I think I need to... Man, actually, you know, one problem with actually getting all the walls in is I can't remember how to get anywhere anymore. Because I'm used to just going through the places where the walls are supposed to be, but I didn't put them in. Oh yeah, that's right. I punched a hole in here so I can go here. Yeah, everything down this stairwell here actually still needs a whole ton of work. These walls here need, you know, not dirt. They need stone. This area, we need to fix this. These bedrooms probably should have beds. Just, you know, saying. Just, oh, here's a roof that's missing. Like, I think that I just want to come through here. This dining room. Que terrible, as they say about me in Spanish. But, you know, like, ugh. This is supposed to be more like servants' or knights' quarters or whatever here. We need to carve those out and get them built. And this stairwell is... Oh, I actually did this stairwell. I mean, it's ugly with all the dirt, but it's a start. It looks like there's just a lot of little things in this episode that I'm going to want to just come through with the right materials and patch them up. So, let's go ahead and get some of those right materials. Come back through here and patch away. Oh man, this seeing this undercarriage here for the castle is just also kind of terrifying in its own way. Ugh. Anyway, time skip. Now guys, you can hear it's raining outside. Be cautious as you approach the railing. You can look down here and you can see I've already started taking that dirt and replacing it with different stone of varying qualities. I feel like having a little bit of a disparate nature there kind of makes it feel just a little bit better. Now, what we should really do though is consider like having some of this just be like, let's have a tetrad in here. Looks like cobblestone. Boom. That kind of pulls the whole design together. We can come back and nitpick about that wall a little bit later. But for right now, it's better than it was. Now, this room here, I've gone in. I've got a real ceiling. I've made the walls brick at a lower level here. I'm still working on what I'm going to do with this space. But, like, you know, for example, maybe I'm going to cover that up so it doesn't rain through the ceiling. Yay, good job me. But, you know, on the whole, it's better than it was. This room here is described in the book as the Kingsmen's Hall. This 30-foot square room is a shambles. Scattered furniture lies in heaps near the walls. Broken bones lie scattered among crumpled and crushed plate armor. Shields and swords jut from the walls as if driven into them by some tremendous force. So, how am I going to do that? Well, piles of bones in the corners. We're just going to kind of, boom, bone blocks. I don't know, man. Like... Whatever. It's hard to really identify in Minecraft, like, what a bunch of bones looks like on the ground. So, yeah, we're just going to pile some bones up as best as we know how with the tools we are given. You know, sometimes you show up and you do your best and you hope that's good. Now, these piles of bones might be bigger than the people intended when they made this. But, you know, that's just kind of how this worked out. Now, how are we going to do the scattered broken furniture? Well, we can take some of these dark oak wood planks here, and, you know, unfortunately, just throwing some planks on the ground doesn't really look like broken furniture, but just kind of, yeah. If we take it, though, if we take 4 of these and make a crafting bench, then we throw some of these together into slabs or stairs. Now we have something worth throwing about a room. Just gonna throw random stuff like... These should be in the walkway. This stuff should feel like it was not supposed to be here. Like, this is a bad piece of furniture to have in the middle of the room. This stuff too. Okay. See, this is a room in shambles. Nobody's going to look at this and go, hey, Joe, you see that great room over there? Yeah. Okay, good enough. Now, the next room is called the Hall of Bones. So I came in here and I ossified everything. Like, I was Richard Stallman or Eric S. Raymond. I don't know. If you were going to ossify things, you'd probably be one of them. So I came in here, put a bunch of bones on all this. This is supposed to be a dragon skull up here, like protruding from the wall. I could only kind of like hint at the concept of a dragon skull in the same way I could only hint at the concept of like bone chairs. But you know what? Sometimes things are best left to the imagination. Arguably, you know, having a dark stained floor, you would want to have a variety of different colored blocks so that you can show where the light and dark contrasts are. But really, in Minecraft, you don't have enough of a palette to do that the way you might want to. So instead, we're just going to come in here with the blocks we have and do what we can. Now, I'm not sure how good this red is going to look with the yellowish bone block type of, you know, look and feel here. But once again, this is intended to be a very deeply unnerving room. You know, normally a room isn't turned into bones unless something bad happened. And so it's pretty safe to assume that this is a room in which bad things happen. You don't want to be in here. So we're going to just put these here like so. Actually, that's too far back. We actually want those up one. Boom. You come in here, you're just like, how come everything is bones now? What will happen to me if I stay in this room? Is this a good room for me? It is a mystery. You know, now one of the great things about, you know, vampire murder castles is things like that don't stay mysteries for long. And that is part of the joy of playing a game with your friends, is you get to goof around and have a terrifying experience in a completely safe environment. We are very nearly out of nether brick. Luckily, I got more cooking upstairs. So what we're going to do, I think, is we are going to run upstairs and grab the remainder of the nether brick that I have started cooking and come down here, finish this room, and then we are going to pay a little bit more attention to this hallway over here, because there's supposed to be 5 quarters on either side here, and that would be like 10 quarters. That's almost 250 cents worth of lodging. And right now, we do not have that variety or extent of lodging. Okay, this one is going to be small anyway. But, you know, I got to start punching through walls and deciding where this is going to be, how the walls will look, that sort of stuff. So, anyway, let's go back upstairs and grab what we need. Time skip! So having placed the floor entirely in here, you now enter this room, and I fixed the torches a little bit better too. I think it kind of adds something. Feels a little bit more off. I don't know. Awful. It should be an awful room. And I think it is. So yay for everything being bones and making people feel uncomfortable. This room's a success. This room, not so much. But before we go too far into getting these quarters worked out, I realized, too, that I wanted to take some of my dark oak wood planks and some oak fences and finish the barrel cellar that we have started over here. Now, this is where all the wine is held. And I started off with just oak fences and some kind of spruce barrels in here. But I'm kind of thinking that maybe what I should actually have on these racks is a mix of the different types of barrels here. So let's go ahead and get some dark oak in there too. We can just kind of come in like this. Now, this is not actually how you would probably rack this stuff on this side because of the way that back corner is there. You would probably actually have well, you know what? This will be fine. I might actually remove that entirely. And we'll just go ahead and put in some more of these dark oak barrels here. Now, once they add the ability to shave bark off the barrels, I think we're going to be able to get some more convincing-looking barrels in the game. But right now, these kind of hold up. I'm just going to kind of mix in some of the different kinds of aged wood in here. I don't want to do it too regularly because this should look kind of haphazard. You know, the thing about running a castle for a few thousand years is stuff kind of starts to get, like, I don't know, overlooked. Like, the help just kind of loses interest once they're immortal, but they're not like vampire lords. They're just the guy in charge of the barrels, you know? So yeah, that kind of adds something in there. So wine cellar, looking good. We've got our cauldron room down here. This is the servants' hall, which should not be anywhere near this bright. So I realized I had my brightness all the way up because I was in the nether the other day. So this is really more what we want here. We got these sagging beams supporting the low ceiling of the servants' hall. You enter the Hall of Bones. That dark stained floor looking a lot better now. You know, the Kingsmen's hall, trashed furniture, bone piles. Yeah, this is definitely a vast improvement over what we had. Sometimes all you gotta do in Minecraft is just turn down the lights, and it's just better. So that's an improvement. Now this stairwell here, like every stairwell in Minecraft, probably should not be made out of dirt. So, you know, just little things in life can add up. We're just gonna take some of these stone pieces here, kind of just gently replace some of these little platforms. You know, you don't have to come at these things with an X-Acto knife, because there are no X-Acto knives in Minecraft. I was gonna say, there's no X-Acto knives in life, but there actually are. I've seen them in stores. So, yeah. But for Minecraft, they're shovels. So now we've got an arched hallway here that leads to a stairwell that's actually pretty terrifyingly, you know, stone and not just like exposed, you know, grass everywhere. Because really, who builds a stairwell out of grass? It just doesn't make sense. Either way, it's time for us to go ahead and start hewing away at this little space here. Not sure exactly how I'm gonna do it, but let's get hew it. Wait, is that even a good sentence? Who cares? Time skip. Well, we are back in this hallway, and I gotta say, this looks cold and damp. I started looking at the book, and it turns out these aren't actually supposed to be full bedrooms in here. So I got rid of the doors, and these are actually supposed to be more like alcoves. So, you know, we just put in a little bit of light here and there. But on the whole, these should actually suffice without the additional furniture or what have you. These are supposed to be full of, like, tattered rags and broken furniture. Which, you know, tattered rags don't really need that much, you know, fancy bedding. So, just gonna come in here, polish off a few more little minor tweaks, because even though dirt looks okay on the floor and can be justifiable in some, like, lower parts of walls, the ceiling really should just actually be stone. Like, that's just simple, like, it's not supportable to have your, you know, ceiling be made of dirt in anything but Minecraft. Dang it, dirt, getting in my way. Now, one last touch I wanted to make is this hallway is supposed to be damp. And nothing in Minecraft says damp quite as much as having a little bit of water dripping from the ceiling. So what I was thinking is we could just kind of come in here like this and actually build little places that we could have a water block in the... Oh wait, that's too low. We need an extra block up. Oh, that's actually going to flood that hillside out there. Let's find a better way to do this. So what we're going to do is we're going to ender pearl up and out here. And then we will capture this water with this block. Boom. That's perfect. And I'm also realizing that some of the construction I might have been doing here might have accidentally wiped out some torches on the surface. So we're just throwing some extra torches in there. Okay, well man, it's a shame that I can't just easily jump back into my structure now that I've got real roofing on top of it and everything. Look at this. Our Hall of Bones is actually, like, properly enclosed. Our stairwell here is no longer permeable. What is this space even good for? Nothing. Although we can actually use it to get back out through there. So let's go ahead and take this stone and patch that up real quick. Boom. Call me Patch Adams Hills, because I'm not clowning when it comes to improving this castle. Okay, let's go see how that dripping water looks. Should be a relatively simple change. Should be a little particle effect somewhere in here now. I'm thinking that block. There we go. Little particle effect water. That's all it takes. Look at this. Boom. This has come a long way. Well, folks, before we close this one out, you might have noticed that this episode was mid-roll ad-free, and that's thanks to $50 a month Patreon sponsor, Karis Sophia. So, in lieu of that mid-roll ad, I will now conclude this episode with a poem that I wrote myself. I hear you should shop only while your stomach is content. Wake only when your mind is rested, they say. A magazine cover reads in the checkout line, 10 spring tips to stop worshiping graven images. But I am hungry, and I am tired, and I know, without picking it up, that at least 8 of those tips are recycled. Until next time, y'all, this is Joe Hills from Nashville, Tennessee. Keep adventuring.